Well, Bengal fans, welcome. Excited to be here. It's been a great year. We've had a lot of fun this year with our athletes and our athletics. We've had good competitions. We've made a lot of accomplishments, and I'm excited to have this opportunity to speak on Facebook, speak on the website, and answer questions and overall promote athletics. I'm open to that before I bump the camera again.
As you look back on the year, what stands out to you?
Oh man, sometimes it's not necessarily championships that you win. It's the so close things or the feats of triumph. Shelby from track and field, that sticks out to me. I know it just happened 2-3 weeks ago, but tearing an Achilles tendon in the middle of a championship race and having the gall and the strength to finish that. I was a 400 hurdler in college as well, and I've got to hand it to her because that race is difficult enough as it is in the first place, and you want to give up every single race, and having an injury like that just really showed the heart of a Bengal, showed the true spirit, and I think she represents all of us in everything that we do. I'm so proud of her, proud of many of our athletes for a lot of the different things that they've done, overcoming trials, overcoming issues. I think there's too many to name, and so I'll just leave it at that.
Represents all of us.
Do you have you kind of already alluded to it, but do you have a favorite memory from this past school year?
Well, I like the one from Shelby. I sure love Juliet Jones's game-winning shot in the Big Sky Conference tournament to knock off then #1 Montana State. Boy, those are tough ones, and again, I don't want to overlook anyone because there's so many fun little stories here and there, great feats of strength or great sense of accomplishment where people have overcome their obstacles, and again, I'd miss somebody if I tried to say more.
What are some areas you'd like to see improve going forward, looking ahead to next year?
One of the biggest things I'm always pushing for, and it's been part of my mantra as long as that I've been here, are the upgrade of our facilities. We need to be better. Nationally, facilities are an arms race. Every school, big or small, is looking to improve the places where their students hang out, where they study, where they practice, where they participate, where they lift, where they get training, where they compete. We need to improve there. It's been something that we've talked about for the last couple of years. We need to build an arena, a multi-purpose arena that we can play men's and women's basketball in and volleyball in. We need to have something that is ours, that we don't share. Too often we miss a lot of practice time with our basketball and volleyball programs because they can't get the total number of hours that they need. We've got one spot at Reed Gym until Holt Arena is available. And then even then, Holt Arena with its multi-use functions, our teams get kicked out of Holt for outside events. And so we just don't have a permanent home. That's my goal #1. That's what we need. I'm working with our athletic fundraisers and the university fundraisers. We've made a handful of asks. We've gotten one yes. Really excited about that. Getting ready to make a few more. Ultimately, we need an arena like that can provide the needs of our student athletes and give them good opportunities. Beyond that, in the next within the week, we will begin construction on a locker room and training room facility at the softball stadium up at Miller Ranch Stadium. Softball has been very successful in the last 4 years, especially with four championships and 1 second place. They've done very well. They've competed, and we need to provide them with certain things. We need to provide them with restrooms. Porta potties just don't hack it, and we need that for them. We need locker rooms, places they can go and be warm, that they can get away from the sun or get away from the cold, or they can receive treatment from athletic trainers. And so we're starting that project within the week, building locker rooms that connect to both dugouts for the home and visiting dugouts. which will be a great project for us. And then we are right now starting our design phase. We are going to replace the track at Davis Field, and we're going to replace the east bleachers at Davis Field, and we'll do that within the year. We've contracted with a design firm. They're going to design all of that for us, and then when we're happy with those designs, we'll go through the state purchasing system and do the bid process and get a group in there. Luckily, we have time. We can't do anything on that until after soccer finishes in mid-November. So we've got some time. But in the process of doing that, putting in a new track, we also need to put in a drainage system. For anyone who follows soccer and follows track, after a rainstorm or after a heavy watering session on the soccer field, lanes 1 through 4 are underwater, and there's no place for that water to go. So we need to put in a drain system, and then finally with that, we'll change the shape of the track. We'll widen it a little bit so that we can widen our soccer field. Currently, we're grandfathered in at the size that we're at, but we don't meet NCAA minimums. So we've got to improve that. Now, Coach Gibson takes advantage of that and recruits women to her team that play well with that fairly non-wide field. But there are some teams that just won't come play us here because of that, and we lose out on opportunities to bring in great opponents.
How important is the new track for purposes of hosting conference and things like that?
You know, very important. Truth be told, this last year, we were supposed to host the Big Sky Track Outdoor Championships, but because our track didn't meet the standards needed, we had to defer, and so Northern Colorado took it. Northern Colorado had to do the same thing a few years ago because theirs didn't meet the standards, and we needed to finish fundraising to make that happen, and have finished that in the last month.
You were part of the process of hiring the new Big Sky Commissioner. Tell us what impressed you about Andrea Williams, and what you think she's going to bring to the conference.
You know what, Andrea was a fireball, and I love that. She had so much excitement, and yet she was calm and collected. She had so much fire and so much passion for the things that she had done. That went really well for me, and I've got to say, our top 4 candidates, every one of them would have been fine. Every one of them would have done a great job for the Big Sky Conference. I think in the last 20 years, Doug Fullerton has raised the bar. He's done a great job of improving the Big Sky, our brand, our competition level. And any one of those 4, I think, will do a fine job would have done a fine job to improve that. But Andrea, her experience as a former student athlete, a 2-sport student athlete, has worked at a university, has worked at the NCAA office, has worked in a conference office. She's been there before, and that's an important thing, especially for coaches, for athletes, for administrators. You want someone who can say they've been in your shoes. They know what it's like to work in an athletic department. They know what it's like to sweat and compete in college. They know what it's like to be on the side of the conference office, and coming from the Big Ten, a conference which we aspire to achieve some of the things that they've achieved. Bringing her knowledge and experience with them will be excellent for the Big Sky.
A lot's talked about football scheduling and 2 FBS games, or would we ever play another FCS team? What's your philosophy on football scheduling and kind of what you see going forward?
You know what, the 2 FBS games, the 2 money games as we call them, at the moment it's a necessary evil, and something that we're required of. Football plays money games as well as men's basketball, and to some extent women's basketball, and they do that for the good of the department, for the good of the other programs, and while that's not always fair, especially to those athletes, it's something that we have a requirement for. The way that our funding comes within our state, there's a cap that our State Board of Education puts on the amount of funding that we can receive that no other schools in our conference are under. So that puts us behind in the first place. Our fundraising has been very good in the last few years. We're up in the top quartile of schools in our conference in fundraising. and that has helped offset that. But the amount of support that the university is allowed to give us has been capped. Oftentimes people want to blame the president for not supporting us. He's done everything that he has been allowed to do by our state system, and we would like to fix that, amend that, so that we can receive a little bit more support than what we've been getting.
Anything else? Any parting words you'd like to give the Bengal fans as we head into the summer and prepare for a new school year?
We have ups and we have downs. We had 3 teams that lost championship games this last year, and consequently didn't walk away with any team championships. And yet, I'd say don't give up on us, because we're there. We're very close. We're making good improvements in certain areas. We're making vast improvements in others, and we're always in the mix in others. Every year the Big Sky does an all-sports trophy, and we have yet to win that. Boy, that's one that I really struggle with, because we've been second and third. I think 4 out of the last 5 years, or 5 out of the last 6 years, we've been second or third. We've been so close. Our programs have been very good, just haven't been able to get over that lip. And if I could put in some levity in there, that's like it's kissing your sister. The guy that just won the bike race is up there with the cute women on each side, and one's kissing this cheek and one's kissing this cheek because he won, and second, third place are down getting kissed by mom and their sister. Nothing against moms or sisters. I love my mom and I love my sisters. Much rather have my wife up there kissing me, though, and that's what it is. And so we're not satisfied with second and third overall in the sports, the all sports trophy. We want to win the whole thing, and what that takes is, in a lot of years, it's just one team playing a little bit better, competing just a little bit more. We'll get there. Our academics have always been very strong, and that has always helped us in the fact that the All Sports Trophy is half graded by academics and half by athletics, and our academics are always number 1 or number 2, which is quite an accomplishment given the academic prowess that Idaho State University has. Being a research high institution, the professors and the students take a lot of pride in the fact that Idaho State is no pushover. It's not a slouch. Getting an education and getting a degree goes a long way, and so for our students that come in that can compete so well in the classroom and can be the top of their class in so many areas, and then compete in the fields of competition is really important, and really happy for us. And I'll say, case in point in that, we had 5 athletes this spring that were the student of the year in their respective college. 5. There are a lot of students at the university, and yet the student athletes are the ones walking away with the academic honors as well as the athletic honors. I think Shelby was one of those. She was the student of the year in her program, and did great things there, and then showed the true heart of a Bengal on the track. So that's what I'd mention. Really proud of our athletes. There's so many of them, and they do such a great job. They leave their homes, they leave their families, their parents. They come to Idaho State and let us be their surrogate parents, and they contribute. And really happy to be here. I'm grateful for the opportunity to be the athletic director, because I get to rub shoulders with these kids. I get to rub shoulders with their parents. I get to see the struggles that they go through, and it's just it's a matter of pleasure for me.
Sweet. Thanks.